everyone. Welcome to SKY TING TV. I'm Krissy. I'm here with Chelsea, and today we're going to be doing a very simple sequence that I feel like most anyone can do. So this is really good to send to your mom or dad or even grandma or grandpa, or do for yourself when you just want a quick little something to open up your body. We have all these props around. If you have something to sit up on, I'm going to sit on a bolster. Chelsea's sitting on blocks. If you have blocks, grab them. If you have a strap, grab a strap, or you could use a belt or a scarf. Class is very short, so if you don't have your props, we can kind of do without. So just get ready, sit up on something, cross-legged position. If this bothers your knees or your hips, or you can't sit on the floor, sit in a chair. Close your eyes, put your hands on your thighs, and see if you can just sit up really tall. Notice your spine and if there's any slouching going on, and see if you can kick the lower body forward a little bit. So it's like someone's pushing your lower back in. And then lift up through the navel, lift up through the sternum, widen your collarbones apart, close your eyes, relax your jaw, and take a full deep breath in, and exhale your breath out. Very good. Open your eyes. Grab hold of your thighs or your knees. If you're sitting in a chair, just grab onto your thighs and start to circle around your lower body. So just pick a direction and start to get kind of fluid and circular. Whenever we stir around, we're adding synovial fluid to the joint capsule spaces, which is very hydrating and beneficial for our joints. Go the other way. So yoga can be like, body lubrication, just unsticking all the hard, dense, stuck places. Okay, we went both directions. And then one more time, go the first way around, and maybe you change your technique and go a little faster, or maybe you go a little bigger, just get into a different nook and cranny. And then stop, and one more time, go the opposite direction, just kind of getting around yourself, making things sporadic. Good, let that go, and we're going to climb forward into a tabletop position, all fours. Move your stuff off to the side. When we set up our tabletop position, what we're going for is our shoulders stacked right over the wrist, our hands are spread, and our knees are right under the hips. You want your toes pointed like Chelsea, and then just to check to make sure, lift your knees off the floor if you can for a second, and then put your knees back down so you have a very substantial base with your shins making contact with the floor. Inhale, you're going to lift your chest, lift your hips up, and arch your back. Look up. Exhale, you're going to round your spine, tuck your chin into your chest, and pull the navel in and up. And then keep going like this. Chelsea will demonstrate. Inhale, you arch, and exhale, you'll round. So keep going. We want to do a bunch of these until the spine starts to feel fluid. So this is one of the easiest, best things to do in the morning to get everything moving and lubricated. And you can also start to match your hearing with your breathing, with the movement. So everything's kind of integrating together, which makes us feel better. We're getting a lot of oxygen to the body. So let's go for 5. Make it a little bigger if you can. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. From here, you're going to spin your right hand out to the side. And if you can go further, you're going to spin your right hand further back, maybe all the way back behind you. But straight out to the side is perfectly fine too. And we're going to make circles around this wrist. So again, pick a direction. Look out in front of you so you keep your chest looking out and the lungs open, and circle your body around. So the wrists are little bottlenecks of the body that get very sticky and tense. So we want to make sure our joints stay open. Go the other way around if you haven't already. Stir it up. Good. And then flip your hand the normal way. Flip your left hand either straight out to the side or all the way around if you can, or somewhere in between, and circle around. So Chelsea and I are yoga teachers, and this is even like a beneficial thing for us to do. Keep things super simple and doable in your home practice, especially if you're trying to go for longevity. 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day is better than doing like 2 hours a week. So you can do this class every day if you want. Go the other way. And then flip your hand the normal way around. We're going to take the right leg straight out to the right side on the floor. The whole sole of the foot is down. And then you're going to start to pulse forward and back, coming forward and back and forward and back. So if you can, maybe your movement's really small, but then later, maybe you can make your movement quite big. So you're coming forward through the hips and back through the hips. Good. From here, come to center and then reach the right arm up for a twist. Look up at the right hand and try to wrap your lungs up towards the ceiling. Let's take 2 breaths here. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. One more deep breath in. Make sure this right foot stays planted. And then exhale, bring the right hand down. Bring the right knee down and simply switch sides. Left leg goes straight out to the side. I'm on Chelsea's mat, and then we're going to go forward and back and forward and back. If this hurts your knee, you just make your movement smaller. Good. Do a few more pulses. You can start to do different things with that foot. And then find your foot planted again. Come to center again with your hands under your shoulders. Reach the left arm up towards the ceiling for a twist. And try to turn both eyes up towards the top hand. Take 2 breaths in. We're wrapping the ribs out. Good. One more deep breath in. And exhale, take your hands down, take your knees down to the floor. We're going to come into child's pose, knees wide apart, big toes together. And then you're either going to sit back on your heels of the feet, or you grab your blanket or your bolster, put that on your shins, or your calves rather, sit on that. So if you have tight knees, that's such a good option, and you can put your forehead here on a block. So it's so nice for your lower back to stretch out in this position. It's also really good for your hips, ankles, and knees to be deeply folded. As we get older, our joints don't fold as they used to. So yoga is our way to keep the architecture of the body nice and crisp and clean and useful. Let's take 2 more breaths. See if you can stretch the arms out further and sit your hips down towards your heels more. Good. One more deep breath in and exhale out. Very nice. Come forward to all fours. If you had that bolster, you can move it off to the side. Grab blocks or something equivalent to blocks. It can be a stack of books or 2 platform shoes. Step your right foot between the blocks. So sometimes it's easier to go higher up. And then your right foot is in a lunge, and your foot is lined up with your hands. What we're looking for in a lunge is our front knee is right over the front heel. So if it's not, just shimmy the foot forward a little more. Now drive your hips forward so we get a nice stretch through the back thigh. Open your chest, look forward, and then exhale. Straighten out the front leg as you flip the toes up. Now keep going with this and move as slowly as you want. So hamstrings are what we're getting into now. They're really tight. Our tissue in the back of the leg tends to be super tight for most people. So if you need to go higher on your blocks or even put your hands on 2 chairs, This is just a simple, nice thing to do every day for your hamstrings. The next time our leg is straight, we're going to stay there and breathe. Flip the toes up, and then if you want, you can add a little micro movement to the right and to the left with your hips, and keep breathing. So when we're trying to open up space in the body, when we're opening up tension, the tension needs an exit route, and that's the breath. Exhalations help to move things out. Breathing's kind of our biggest detoxer mechanism we have. One more deep breath in and out. Good. We're going to come forward to a lunge and just switch sides. So bring your right knee back. Bring your left foot forward between your hands. And then make sure you look at yourself and say, is my knee over the heel? Check, check, check. Then we can start to really move this. So inhale, you bring your hips forward, you open your chest, almost like arch your back like that cat and cow that we did. And then exhale, straighten the front leg, flip the toes up, and then just move it back and forth. Again, when we add movement, we're adding fluidity, we're adding heat. And both of those things are good. Think of anything in nature that stays fluid, like a rushing river. It stays clean. You can drink that water. You don't want to drink water that's been stagnant and sitting there for a long time that animals have, been around. So in the body, it follows the same principles as nature. We want things flowing and rushing and hydrated. Okay, let's straighten the leg and stay here for a few breaths. You can relax your jaw. You can swing your hips a little right and left. The more you dig your front heel into the mat and flip the toes up, the more you're going to feel this in your hamstring. One more deep breath in and out. Okay, bend your knee and then step the left knee back to meet the right knee. And however you want to get up to stand is cool by me. So I'm just going to step my foot there and then the other foot. Chelsea jumped and then come up to stand. All right, so we're going to have some fun and floss out our shoulders, which will help us breathe more. So grab your straps at home or whatever you have at home. It can even be a towel or a long sweater. So you just want to open it up. Our straps are nice and new. And we're going to open up our hands on the strap very, very wide. And we want our feet parallel, maybe shoulder distance apart. We're going to start with our hands down by our thighs. And the goal is to keep the strap taut. So you don't want any slack in the strap. You'll know how far your hands should be in just a moment. Take a little tiny bend in your knees just so you could feel the plug of your feet in the floor. Inhale, you're going to reach the arms up, back, and all the way around. You might need to go wider with your hands on the strap and then come back around, up, back, and down. And then just do that a few more times. Come up, back, and all the way towards your hips. And then finish the circle and come around. Let's do 2 more. And good. This is weirdly difficult. Even for flexible people, you'll still get a stretch. 1 more. Really good to make these joints very spherical in the shoulders. Okay, let that go. We're going to come all the way down now to lie on our backs, but I want you to keep your strap handy and keep your blocks handy as well. If you just have 1 block, that's fine. So however you need to get down to the floor, just lie down on your back, grab your strap, and then you're going to take your right foot up into the strap, bend your left knee on the floor, and then take your arms up the strap. Your arms are long. And if you want, your foot is flexed. If you want, you can straighten out your left leg if that's not too much for your hamstrings. So feel free to keep this left knee bent if you need to. Chelsea has extended her bottom leg, so we're going to make sure the bottom leg stays rooted. Flex both feet if your legs are extended, and then relax your jaw, relax your throat, and reach through the back of the leg without letting your Lower back, press into the mat. We want to keep the lower back slightly elevated off the floor, as if I could roll a blueberry underneath your lower back. Good. Let's take one more deep breath in here. And then to change sides, you're going to change like a pro and take your left foot up into the strap. So now you have both feet in the strap. And then you can take the right foot down. You can either keep the right knee bent or extend the right leg long. And then however much you want to stretch your leg. So your leg definitely doesn't have to go as high as Chelsea's. Just go to your measure. So even if we just open up a few more muscle fibers, that is a beneficial thing to do each day. Little by little is how we do yoga. And it's really cool. Once you start a regular practice, you will start to see changes. My dad just started doing yoga. It took him all this time of me being a teacher, but he started his own practice and he's like, I feel better than I did 10 years ago. Okay, so let's release the foot, release the strap off to the side and bend both knees so both feet are on the ground now. We're going to take a little hip stretch. You're going to take the right leg up to the ceiling, flex the foot, and then cross the right ankle over the left knee like you're making a figure 4 shape. And you might feel a stretch here, and you can just wiggle around side to side like Chelsea was doing, and her right knee presses forward. Or if you want to go further, you're going to pull this little shape towards your body and interlace your hands behind the left thigh. And then again, you can start to roll around from right to left. Chelsea extended her foot up towards the ceiling. Good. Take a few deep breaths. Again, trying to keep your hips rooted down on the floor. This is such a good hip stretch to do every day. The hips are really tight for most people, like the hamstrings. The hips hold a lot of tension. They do a lot for us. They're very big joint spaces with a lot of muscle groups. Okay, we're going to switch sides. You're going to take the left foot down to the floor and then lift the right leg up to the ceiling and take the right leg down to the floor and then switch. Left leg lifts up, cross the ankle over your right knee, and then stay here or pull the shape into you. This time interlacing your hands behind the right thigh. And feel free to rock around side to side. For some reason, the jaw and the hips are super related, so you want to make sure you're relaxing your jaw as you stretch out the hips. Sometimes the body likes to put tension into weird places that we don't need tension in. You definitely don't need your jaw to do this pose, so let it release. Good. Let's step the right foot down, lift the left leg up to the sky, and then step the left foot down on the floor. Okay, so I'm going to be Chelsea's little butler here. I'm going to bring her props to her. You're going to lift your hips up, and then anything you've got at home, a cushion, a block, something hard to put underneath your lower back, you're going to rest your lower back there. And you want the block right on the sacral plate. If you know where your sacrum is, it's that bony, flat, fused place of your lower spine. And then you can rest here. It's a back bend. It's really good for digestion. You're bringing space into the front of the body. If this feels easy to you and eventually you want to go up higher with your block, you can flip your block up a level if you want. And then one of the best things to do each day is to do a mini inversion, to flip yourself upside down, to let the blood from the lower body kind of reverse its flow and go towards the heart and lungs with a little more ease. So we're just going to keep the hips on the block and take the legs up towards the sky Or if you have a wall, you can lean your heels against the wall, or you can even put your legs up a chair. So anything you've got at home, they can be free floating like Chelsea's. So you can be here, you can keep a small bend in your knees. And just like we opened up the wrists, those little tiny channels, we're gonna open up the ankles, which are similar. So what you're gonna do is just roll your feet around in a big circle, pick a direction, and you'll be surprised at, how one foot can circle and the other foot maybe will not participate. But just try to get both of them to circle around one way and then switch your direction and go the other way, just bringing some fluidity back into the ankle joints, which also, as we age, starts to wear down. And just giving your legs time for the blood from the lower legs to flow down towards the heart and lungs. If you drink green juice like I do, you always have to flip it over, shake it up a little bit, and invert it before you drink it so things stay integrated. Same thing with the body. You don't want to drink your body, but all the sediment kind of settles towards the bottom. And so every day, if you flip yourself upside down, it's a good thing to do to stay well integrated. Let's bend the knees, step the feet on the floor. You can go ahead and pick your hips up, move the block off to the side, and then we're just going to find constructive rest, which means our feet are as wide as the mat, the knees are knocked in together, and you're going to reach up and either grab opposite elbows. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders, you're going to take your hands to your belly and just rest here. This is a good pose to do to widen out the lower back. If you have any lower back tension, this is what we recommend. So we're going to stay here as long as you want. And when you are ready, if you want to stay longer, go ahead and pause this video and stay longer. But when you're ready to come out of this shape, you're going to roll over to one side and very slowly start to use your hands to help you pick yourself up to that same seat that we started class in. If you have your bolster or a block, you definitely want to put something underneath you so that you are elevated and your hips are above your knees, so that you're able to close your eyes and feel a little lighter in the body. You're not worried about the body. We've opened it up. We've created some space. And notice if your mind feels any more calm after doing that. We're going to finish class with a 4-count inhale, a 4-count hold, a 4-count exhale, and a 4-count hold. So we call this a box breath. Very simple. Take a full breath in and exhale out. And here we go. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, and hold. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold your breath. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, and hold it out. One more on your own. Very good, class. Bring your hands together at heart center and bow your head very slightly. Just take a moment to honor the work you've put forth today. Give yourself some credit and some love. And when you're ready, you can release your hands, open the eyes, let that go. And we will see you next time, hopefully tomorrow on SKY TING TV. There's a bunch more classes, beginners, advanced, all levels. We'll see you there. Bye.